वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 So, in the previous session we discussed about the six important items that are favorable and conducive to rendering devotional service. And we saw that how these things can and should be performed in the association of devotees. Since associating with devotees is so important, in the next verse Srila Rupa Goswami gives how to associate with devotees. What exactly association means. How to perform devotional service in the association of other devotees. So that is described in this particular verse, wherein he says, Dadati pratigrihnati guhyam akhyati pritchati bhungte bhojete chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. The symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another, priti lakshanam, the lakshana, symptom of priti, loving exchange, are 6 in number. Dadati means offering gifts in charity. Pratigrihnati, accepting charitable gifts. Guhyam akhyati, revealing one's mind in confidence. Pritchati, inquiring confidentially. Bhungte, accepting prasad. And bhojayate, offering prasad. These are the 6 symptoms. And we find actually that even in any ordinary dealings, these 6 loving exchanges are common. If one businessman wants to establish a relation with other businessman, he invites him to a hotel for a party, and both come and sit, and he gives him the menu. He said, order whatever you want. Mere side se treat. From my side, I'm going to treat you to a nice feast. So he orders, and as things start coming and they are eating, slowly the person who is offering the feast opens his heart and tells that I am also taking up a similar business like yours, and this is my plan. What do you think about it? How do you think you could be a part of it? And the other person also contributes, gives a suggestion, and as they are getting up, he offers a small gift, and the other person receives that gift. And in this way, as they are living out of the hotel, their heart has come closer. because of these exchanges, offering food, offering gifts, opening their hearts, and reciprocation from the other side. So these 6 exchanges are signs of love in any dealing, what to speak of Vaishnavas. Even in ISKCON, it's very interesting. Prabhupada writes a very wonderful statement. He says, in the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with devotees. Sangha Tyagat Sato Vrite. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate the 6 kind of loving exchanges between devotees. That's one of the main purposes of this society. It was established with the purpose of having this 6 kind of loving exchanges amongst devotees. Do any of you remember what are the 7 purposes of ISKCON? Somebody remembers? You know at least that there are 7 purposes. When Prabhupada established his International Society in 1966, he wrote down 6 purposes of ISKCON. 7 purposes of ISKCON. Somebody remembers? No. And which one does this purpose, and where does this fit in? Yes, Prabhu. Huh? Cooperation among devotees? Are you sure? Or good speculation? Yeah?
Bring the members of the society close together with each other and with the supreme entity Krishna.
That's part of that, and which fulfills this. That's exactly what I was expecting. He says one of the purposes is to bring its members closer to each other and closer to the supreme entity Krishna. Closer to each other. But even other social clubs, they are also found to bring closer to each other. Lions, Rotary, whatever. But then, not only closer to each other, but also simultaneously closer to the supreme entity Krishna. That's why Krishna Consciousness Society, International Society, where people from all over the world can come closer to each other and simultaneously closer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the purpose. One of the purposes of ISKCON is to bring people closer to each other. Just think about it, this particular meeting itself. Here, right here, people are from various parts of this country, various professions also probably. And what is our main purpose of coming together here? One is to know each other, come closer to each other, come closer to the devotees, and come closer to Krishna, which is the ultimate goal of life. And thanks to Prabhupada that this particular meeting is held today. Had it not been there, had the society not been established, probably this wouldn't have happened. That was the vision of this great Acharya. And not only this, in Mayapur, during the time of GBC meetings and main festivals, Gaur Purnima festival, literally for the first time, last time when I went, last year, this year when I went, my faith in the fact that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead increased much more. It's very easy to accept Krishna, but very difficult to accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as that same personality. But when I saw literally thousands of people from practically all parts of the world, different in terms of color, different in terms of habit, different in terms of culture, different in terms of language, but everyone was just glorifying Panchatattva and just sharing such a loving devotion, serving prasadam, interacting, doing kirtan. It's amazing. And what can bring nowhere this kind of a loving, sweet exchange with the Supreme Absolute Truth in the center can be brought out until and unless the Supreme Lord is made the center. And that's the only purpose why which we are coming together, to purify our hearts and to glorify the Lord. So, we see how his desire has been fulfilled here in this purpose of ISKCON. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. It was started single-handedly. Prabhupada was alone, old man going alone, 40 rupees. And there he had very loving reciprocation with his whoever came there. And so many times, many of his disciples tell, earliest people, he was free for all. Any time anyone could walk in, he would spend hours together. If they had inclination, he had the time. And sometimes he didn't have any money. So he would have programs twice a week. And at the end of the session, there were about 15-20 people. He would take one apple, offer it to Krishna, cut it into pieces and distribute the pieces. That's all. That was prasad. One apple. And then whenever he had some money, he would just make a nice feast, cook the nice feast, offer everything, and ultimately wind up himself, wash everything and give. Nobody knew how he was managing what he was. They just come, eat and go. And later, after some time, one person said, "Oh, Swamiji, you seem to be alone. Do you need some help?" Yeah, come. Till then, he said anything. And they reciprocated. Anytime they would come, they would bring some few fruits, because they knew he distributes fruits. So they would bring something, they would cut and give. And they would open their heart, he would speak to them. Like that. And then when they were little more intimate and little more learned in the science, then he said, "Why don't you go and preach that side, this, here and there." And they became leaders. In just few months, practically knowing nothing of philosophy. But whatever was told to them, they would go and repeat. And from 66, and he left this world in 77. In 11 years, just by this loving exchanges and winning over their hearts by his great love, he could establish so many temples, so many disciples, so many devotees, just because of the power of these sweet loving exchanges. So he is saying, this society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contributions we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines, dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. So dadati pratigrihnati. They are giving some money, and Prabhupada writes, we are giving them books and other subject matter of Krishna consciousness. So dadati pratigrihnati. Then we sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasad. Although most of our members come from high rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasad we are able to offer them. So, Guhyam Akhyati, Bhungte. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. Now listen to this statement. This is another very important statement. The life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchanges among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. He says the life of this society is nourished by these 6 loving exchanges. What does that mean? That means if these 6 loving exchanges are not there, this society will be dead. When you say this is the life of our movement, which means if this goes, then the life goes, then the society is dead. The life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchanges among the members. And therefore, people must be given an opportunity, because actually Krishna consciousness is dormant within the heart of every living entity. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koraye Uday. It's there, potentially there in every living entity. It must be aroused. How to arouse? That means they have to hear about it. So people must be given an opportunity to hear about Krishna. It's all there. It's not some artificial imposition. It's all there. Only people must be given an opportunity to hear about it. And that happens when they open their hearts. Because as we were discussing just now, simply hearing from here and going away from the other ear, it doesn't happen. They have to open their hearts. And people open their hearts only when they have trust and faith. You don't open your heart to a stranger. They have to have faith, they have to have trust. And that will come when they come and see that members have loving exchanges amongst themselves. They have such sweet loving relationship. By seeing that, they are attracted. And that gives them faith. That gives them that trust to actually reveal their heart. So, it is such an important thing that these loving exchanges, because that is the life of this society. Then people are inspired. They reveal their heart. They come closer, loving exchanges. And they invite their friends. They invite their friends. In this way, the society of the Vaishnavas grow. So important are these 6 loving exchanges. So the members also invite the devotees to their homes, feed them prasadam. The devotees invite them to the temple, give them nice prasadam. Loving exchanges, then heart-to-heart talk, and they contribute, give in terms of money, and devotees give in terms of knowledge of Krishna, books, magazines, things like that, information. And that's how this society is expanding. This is the secret. This is the life of the society. This is one of the main purposes of this society. Now, the more we are able to understand the subtle aspects of this principle, how it works, the more we can take full advantage of these loving exchanges. So, I would like to just briefly cover some of the principles involved in this principle of giving and taking. First is giving gifts in charity. Now, this principle of giving gifts works for all in developing good relationships. We have seen whenever everyone is somebody is giving a gift, it works. People like it. Who doesn't like to receive a gift? Right? Somebody sends you a gift. Who doesn't like to receive? So it works for all. And what is this giving a gift? It is a gesture of friendship. I like you, therefore I want to give you a gift. So people give. It's a gesture of friendship. And what does this gift actually show? It shows that you care about that person and you care about that relationship. You don't give a gift to any stranger, Tom, Dick and Harry in the street. You send a gift to someone whom you love. So you care about that person and you want to develop that relationship. You want to activate or you want to further that relationship. So, actually, even though it may be a small gift, it shows that you have gone through the effort involved in making a sacrifice. You made a sacrifice of your money, time, energy to buy a thing, pack it up nicely and send it to him or offer it to him. You have thought about him first of all. So, this is an external act. Giving a gift is only an external act. But behind that there is so much of feeling that goes. And that's how things work. Actually, why do we start loving God? God is the supreme charitable person. Nature is his gift. He has given so many free gifts. He has given us air, he has given us water, he has given us wonderful, fruits, whatnot, everything. All these are free gifts given to us. And therefore, naturally, any gentleman becomes obliged. Says, he has given so much, I have to reciprocate in some way. However, the motive should not be exploited.